Okay, here we're going to go ahead and start using the multiplication division principle, which basically states that when you have an equation, you can multiply or divide both sides of the equation by the same amount to produce an equivalent equation. So in this case, look at the first one. We're supposed to solve for y. 5 times y equals negative 15. So we know it's, if you use common sense first, which we should know it's negative 3. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And it's correct. By all means, if you see that right away, do it. What I want to teach you now, though, is as these problems get longer, we want to make sure we can do the algebraic steps. So, as we did before with the adding and subtracting. So in this case, if I want to get y by itself, and the problem states 5 times y equals negative 15, I need to get rid of the 5. To get rid of something, you do the opposite. So right now it says 5 times y. It's an imaginary times. The opposite of multiplication is division. So if I want to get rid of the 5, I divide this side by 5. Because 5 times y divided by 5 would just be y. In other words, check out this example. 5 times 7 divided by 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Divided by 5 is 7 again. Because if you multiply by 5 and divide by 5, you're really not doing anything. You're just going right back to where you started. So that's why here we divide by 5. But whatever you do to one side, you must divide the other side by 5 as well. Here you'll see 5 divided by 5 is really 1. But we don't write 1y. We just write y. The 1 is understood. But 5 divided by 5 is 1. A lot of students will cancel it out like that. That's okay as long as you understand they're not disappearing, they're dividing and they're becoming a 1. On the other side, negative 15 divided by 5 is negative 3. Negative divided by positive is always negative. If you want to check your work, plug in a y right there, but understand it's multiplication. 5 times negative 3 equals negative 15. Look at the next one. 32 equals negative 4 times x. I'd like to get x all by itself, so I need to get rid of that negative 4. Make sure you understand not to do this. Add 4 and add 4. It's a very common mistake because they see the negative 4, so they want to add it. You got to understand that it's always the opposite operation that you do. This says negative 4 times x equals to 32. So if it's negative 4 times x, the opposite of multiplying by a negative 4 is divide by a negative 4. If I do it to one side, I must do it to the other side. And here's what would happen. Negative 4 divided by negative 4, once again, is a positive 1. So in other words, 1x, but I'm just going to write the x. 32 divided by negative 4 is negative 8. So if you want to check your work, just plug in the negative 8 right there. Negative 4 times negative 8 equals positive 32. Again, the problem would have to look like this. In case you were thinking, well, how do I know when I'm supposed to add 4? If it looked like this, then you could say x minus 4, the opposite of subtracting 4, would be to add 4. But you can clearly see we're subtracting 4. Here we're not subtracting 4, we're multiplying. And the last one, negative 8 times y equals 40. This is multiplication, so if I want the y by itself, y times negative 8, the opposite would be divide by negative 8 on both sides. Whatever it is that you're multiplying by, whether it's positive or negative, that's what you divide by. Negative 8 divided by negative 8 would be a positive 1. So just y, in other words. 40 divided by negative 8 is negative 5. And again, check your work if you'd like until you get comfortable with this. Negative 8 times negative 5, positive 40.